The Isaiah Factor Uncensored starts right now.
And welcome to The Factor Uncensored. Tonight we take you to the West Coast, where a high school has to call off their football season this year after students showed their racism. School officials at River Valley High School in Yuba City, California say the season was canceled after members of the football team filmed themselves recreating a slave auction. It's where they sold off their black teammates in that auction that they videotaped. Now, the students who took part in the video have been banned from playing this year. The district also launched an investigation. Tonight, we talk about why didn't they know any better?
Your thoughts on young people being tone deaf in 2022 when it comes to a situation like this, when they think it's okay to do this?
Isaiah, thank you for having me. And the work we do at the NAACP is always out educating people as to what this means. When you've got new generations of racists, it says that we are reproducing in this country individuals who buy into the ideology of supremacy, superiority, and thinking that they have the right to make these kinds of things public. But that's because they're following the models of others who make their racist thoughts and ideas public. And it's become popular. Right here in Houston, as we know, in our area, we got the volleyball team out in Katy making racial slurs at a volleyball game. Last year, we had the Bel Air baseball team doing the same thing at a Westbury and Bel Air High School baseball team. Over and over again, around our nation, we're seeing young people make these kinds of statements and go public with them. It suggests to us that just like a forest, the way to kill a forest is stop planting new trees. If we have a forest of racists, we've got to stop planting new racists in the soil. And unfortunately, America seems not to be able to do that.
Now, when you see a situation like we did at the high school in California, we know also Black students participated. What were they thinking, Bishop?
Well, let me say, I'm not sure as to the extent of their participation. I will say this, that it would seem to me that the young man that we read about in the news last week, whose teacher used the N-word, referring to him in that way, that student said he was absolutely appalled and offended by it. I would hope that the Black students who participated in this recognize that they misrepresented not only themselves, but they misrepresented an entire race of people. They participate, and let's remember this, that historically, unfortunately, it is the case, there's always been some African Americans who are willing to allow themselves to be used in ways that are completely misrepresentative of who we are as a people. And that's really unfortunate, but it's historically true. There's always been somebody willing to play the part of the uninformed, ignorant African American who allows themselves to be misrepresented that way and insulted. And that too requires education.
And what about parenting? Are parents doing enough when it comes to situations like this, where they're not telling their children at home, hey, you can't do something like this. You can't say things like this?
Well, we do know that everything starts at home. And parents, as we teach, parents need to teach their children not to be racist, right? And parents need to teach Black children, do not allow yourself to be used as a race, in a racist joke and be the brunt of the joke. You are not that. We need to make sure parents understand that it's our responsibility to teach, like I teach my children, respect yourself and demand that others respect you as well. And let me tell you this, if we want to get down to it, we've got to make sure all leadership, we begin with parents, teachers, principals in schools, as well as people with influence, our elected officials. When you see elected officials and other leaders using racial slurs and making racist jokes, as well as doing racist things with public policy, they began to adopt the same spirit and ideology. I'm glad the school district acted swiftly. and expelled these boys, these students from the team. And now, of course, the team is defunct for the rest of the year. I'm glad that district acted appropriately. Unfortunately, some districts don't act like they should. These kind of actions must be punished, and there must be consequences, because that too sends a strong message.
And also, is it becoming more of an issue where kids are tone deaf? Because, for example, here in Texas, where many elected officials don't want race discussed in the classroom. They don't want any books on the shelves in the library addressing race. And then you will continue to create a generation of young people like this, not knowing that they're crossing the line or that they're offending someone.
That's a great point, Isaiah. We've got to teach and educate. Youth have to know how egregious these actions are. They also have to know that we own our racist history as America and know what damages that history has caused us up until this day. And which is why I think that elected officials and policymakers are absolutely incorrect on this issue. Removing racist slavery from textbooks and the discussion of racism from classrooms is a huge mistake. Huge mistake. We've got to deliberately educate every generation on how bad racism is, how much it's cost us, how much it still costs us today. Disparities still exist today because of slavery that lasted 250 years and 400 years of oppression in America. We've got to educate and own that truth in order to let young people know this is unacceptable, and ultimately we should call it un-American.
Absolutely. And once again, we want to point out that the school officials, the district where this happened at River Valley High School, they took action immediately. They started an investigation, and they say now this is the time to sit down with these students and not only punish them, but educate them in what they did wrong if they truly don't understand where they crossed the line. Bishop James Dixon with the NAACP, thank you, sir.